And we're back on another episode of Salient Points. This one's 124 for October 17th, 2023. And as per usual, you guys don't know this, but before we get on these mics, there's always all sorts of technical issues. My mic was not working. OBS didn't want to pick up my voice, but that's fine. All right, I think we figured it out. Hopefully it's a good enough show. Always remember, Luis's audio version. Luis puts in the audio version that's on what do we even use? SoundCloud. That's the best version.
You don't even know where it is.
That's the best version. This man engineers it. This man engineers it.
I've been trying to get that version on the video for a minute, but hasn't happened yet.
I think we did once when we might have lost the audio on the video or something wacky happened. I think it might have been I hadn't checked and it wasn't picking up my voice, and I was like, what do I have to do here? But anyways, look, that's what it is. I'm Carlos Macias, the master of what, Dalan?
The master of crash test dummies.
Ooh, we'll talk about that a little later, okay? I did have to get that crash test dummy from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. But Dalan, Kirkwood from up in the mountains, thank you for joining us, sir. How are you doing? Who are we sponsored by? Who are we sponsored by?
We are sponsored by Unfrosted Strawberry Pop-Tarts.
I was going to say, man.
I know you love it. I know you love it.
Boo this man. Boo this man. Okay, talk about unfrosted Pop-Tarts. Why even eat them at that point? Why even eat them? I like how we're crapping on our quote-unquote sponsor. But there it is. Pop-Tarts unflavored, unsweetened, unfrosted. Get out of here, Dalan. Dale Bloss, for the King of Mid-Bay, thank you for joining us as well, sir.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Now, from what I understand, Dale, I don't think you've been on the show for a couple weeks or something, and you're gonna take off. Are you gonna tell the world where you're taking off to? Are you gonna?
Yeah, no, I'm going back to the land of the rising sun.
Okay.
Definitely next week. I think we could still do one. Like if we're scheduled on Monday, we could still do one.
Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. But no pressure, though, man. I mean, look, when you're flying and you're flying and going back and forth, right? I understand all that. But thank you for joining us today, sir. Sorry about the 49ers, that missed field goal shot. I know it hurts. They can't go undefeated forever, man. They can't go undefeated forever.
No, they can. They can. If the Patriots almost did it, they could. The 49ers could have done it.
They could have done it. Luis Mendez on the wheels of steel. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Brought to you by Espíritu Gatito.
Oh, okay, interesting. Is that a Pokemon? That's the Spanish name of that Pokemon.
All these cards that Dalan couldn't get us.
Come on, Dalan. Come on, Dale. You could have gotten
Coco right here.
Just to get in the background, right? Like Dalan, he works at a McDonald's. He moonlights as a McDonald's manager. He could have gotten us these Pokemon cards, but whatever, Dalan. We're not holding it against you or anything. That's cool. Look at Dalen's lack of response. He's like,
you were asking me to steal 3
Whoa! What? When? Come on, Dalan. We didn't say that.
At some point, Prue was like, "Hey, get me these things." I was like, "Prue, I got that kind of money." He was like, "Just walk out with it. It's fine."
Okay, but don't be trying to put that on the rest of the podcast on wax. All right, Dalan.
But the store, she's so rich. The store.
There you go. Hey, look.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say this. I don't care if I currently work for them. Their prices are wacky. I know Carlos recently sent me the receipt of a bunch of foods, and I'm like, man, your fudge sundae was $2.99. Our fudge sundae is like $4.19 or $4.79 or something.
And guess
like
what?
that.
The machine was actually working. The machine was actually working, Dalan. That's what I was surprised by. Hey, but what I'm not surprised by is we got some games coming through, man. I know we already got some hot ones. We got Starfield. We got the Cyberpunk 2077 DLC. We also got Forza Motorsport, which I think you've been playing, right, Dale?
Mortal Kombat.
And Mortal Kombat 1 wasn't too bad. Assassin's Creed Mirage, which we'll talk about it a little later on. I game tape solved it, so I will be speaking on that first
in like 3 days.
First Assassin's Creed I've beaten in years. But anyways, we still got more games coming. Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Brothers Wonder is coming out this Friday. I'm pretty damn hyped for it. It's gonna be hard trying to slot these in, of course, but Spider-Man 2, the reviews are out already. On OpenCritic is at a 91, Metacritic is at 92. Not too surprising as far as the Spider-Man game. I mean, unless you were expecting like 100%, a perfect game. But I'm sure it's pretty damn good from what I'm seeing. Dale, what are you thinking, man? This is kind of what you were thinking that it was going to score high up there as far as Spider-Man?
Is the Metacritic 92 or 91? Because I predicted 92.
Oh.
But I don't know if that's correct.
I'll give you the point, man. I'll give you the point, man. It might have updated. You know, I think I saw it earlier today on a Monday. But it might have updated. But yeah, man. What's gonna be your way of attack here, Dale? Are you gonna grab both of these or just Spider-Man and then Mario goes to the wayside?
Oh, definitely Spider-Man. Mario, I could wait on for like a couple of years. Actually, I'm not.
Oh damn. Okay. Reasonable.
Right.
Reasonable.
So you
That's a hot
and
take.
Luis like.
Yeah. Then
yeah.
he's not as hard.
Yeah. I'll get it like on a GameFly deal or something or whatever when they drop in price or something like that. But the priority definitely goes to Spider-Man 2. It looks amazing. It just like every trailer that comes out for it, I'm just like blown away. But I'm also I like half-watch trailers for Spider-Man 2 because like I don't want to get any spoilers from it. Yeah. But yeah.
So you're looking away every like 10 seconds. You're like, oh, awesome! Wait, can't look.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome! Wait, can't look.
Damn it! Turn off.
Apparently, the last the release trailer is really spoilery, man. Like I was seeing online, it's like, oh, this is. Exactly. I was like, what? Right. What? Why? Right. Why is this happening? I don't understand.
But it's like the way that Spider-Man 2 has been like marketed is kind of like a movie, except it's a video game. So like they'll give you all these important scenes. Yeah. Like they'll literally spoil it within the trailer. And
those games have serious movie quality. You play any Spider-Man game, that's like 5 movies put together.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Now Dale,
like that nowadays.
Now Dale, you said you'll wait a couple years. I'll wait a few days, man. I think I'm gonna have to Super Mario Brothers Wonder GameFly it.
What do you think is how is it gonna score? Do you think it's gonna be over 90 or is it gonna be
Wonder?
Like 88?
I think it's kind of tough. We got like 50% of the podcast here that's not that high for it. I think it could be like mid 80s, man. Mid 80s. Yeah, I think people are like, for whatever reason, these are great games and all, but it's a 2D Mario game. Right? You guys want to punch people. I understand.
Right. I'll put it on wax. I'm going to predict 86.
Okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Luis, what do you think of the scores for Spider-Man? Or, if you want to comment more on not getting...
I mostly wanted to comment on your headline here. Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Brothers Wonders hype. And to me, it's like... I'm not hyped about Super Mario. I know it's going to be a great game or whatever, but I don't need to be there day one. What's going to be spoiled for me in this game? I don't need to get in there immediately.
Yeah,
good point.
That is one of the things that I want to mention before we talk a little.
I could turn into an elephant. Oh my god. But yeah, Spider-Man 2. Mm-hmm. I'm getting on that day one for sure. I think so. Pre-ordered. It's coming in the mail.
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm gonna grab it, man. I don't know if digital. I'm gonna try to get a physical. Maybe they do a launch. I would think they do a midnight launch for this thing. Maybe I'd want to get in on that. We'll see. But really quick, as far as like, I do like that you mentioned that about the Wonder. So the Super Mario Brothers Wonder did leak to the internet, so there are spoilers. But it's like you were saying, Lise. What spoilers? It's like the mechanics, man. What you could turn into an elephant, but what else? What else?
Wait.
We don't know.
What leaked about it?
The whole game, I believe. The whole game is out, like it's on like ROM sites or whatever. Whoa! What are you over here rubbing your hands for, Dale?
Nothing.
I don't like
I
that.
I just found out a way to save $70.
Can you tell us where those ROM sites are so we know not to go there and check these
Can you
games
put
out?
it on wax, Dale? Can you put it on wax? What you mean by rubbing your hands?
It's for public information.
Okay. We'll move on. We'll move on. But apparently it's out there.
I do want to make one comment is that Spider-Man 2 seems to have a bit of a blast radius to it. Too many people talking about Spider-Man 2.
So, you know what? I think Sony was right about like 30 days ago, right? Or they were like 30 days. Like, that's it, right? It was like one of those like little mic drop moments, like 30 days. And everybody knew. They knew who they were. They were talking about Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. There's a couple little things coming out of Spider-Man. I know we've been kind of on blackout, but one of the things that are blowing people's minds, of course, is from Murakami13. He says another look at Spider-Man 2's insane fast travel system. The fact that you can travel to any location, even the opposite corner of the map, with zero loading is absolutely mind-boggling. Definitely the most seamless fast travel system I've seen. But this could be the most, what is that award that we give every year? Frictionless. This potentially could be frictionless gaming material, right? But what do you, Dale, what do you make of that, man? Is it just the power of the SSD? I know you were saying that, Ratchet. What's going on?
I mean, yeah, it is part of the SSD. Like, it's every time a game does it, like an open world game does it, I'm like baffled and like, I'm just like, oh man, awestruck by how magical it is. But like people saying that Spider-Man 2 is like the first one to ever do it, I'm just like, no, there's 2 other games. There's 5. There's like 5
There's
other
Ratchet.
games that
There's Ratchet. What else? What else?
Well, there's Ratchet. Well, that's kind of fast travel, but like for open world games, like the Crew Motor Fest did it like 2 months ago. Okay. And then there's that Riders Republic game that came out from Ubisoft.
Oh, is that what you were tweeting about? Not that I just skim your tweets. I read every single one with full attention, Dale. That's what you were tweeting about. The Rider. I was like, why is this man talking about Riders Republic randomly? I don't understand.
But I mean, it has the same system. It's just Spider-Man 2's is just so much more seamless and like cinematic the way that it does.
Well, it's a higher profile as well, right? That people are gonna be like Spider-Man. Everyone's
don't forget how fast Ghost of Tsushima was. That game,
it was
baffed. That game loaded,
but there was like a load screen in the middle of it, like
it was a load screen, but half a second, and you were like, it had a whole paragraph that it wanted you to read, but they were like, no,
we're not getting to it.
Well.
They were not getting to it.
And I don't have Dalan.
And I think that was on PlayStation 4 too, right? Like it was loading fast on PS4. Luis, what do you think of this? The speed of the SSD or whatever it is, man? Do you also
to me here, and I think for most people, it isn't that it's seamless and instantaneous or whatever. It's that it's so polished, right? Because they had done this before in the last part. I know they had like their districts and specific teleport locations and all that, but it's about how polished it is, right? When you load from one character to the next, it's kind of GTA style in the sense that you catch them in the middle of doing something and it transports you and I guess shifts to that character. So that seems pretty cool because like when that started happening, I remember the first time I fast traveled in Spider-Man Miles Morales, I think it was. That there was a bit, and I think we talked about this too, there was something that was kind of lost there, like, oh, that was my time to like quickly check Twitter, like grab a drink or like whatever, because you're just there. So the fact that they're like, okay, we don't want to completely like get rid of it, right? But we'll give you a little nice transition of a few fraction of a second or whatever.
Yeah.
So
was that the one? Was that it, or where it's like if you activate the I'm loading in? Is that the game? Am I thinking about the? I think there was a game where we're loading too fast for people. So press a button to like actually get in.
Spider-Man Remastered were really good at it, where it would like you wouldn't have that load screen. And before in the original PlayStation 4 version, you'd have like a nice little like I don't know snippet of like Peter Parker's life, like riding on a subway in his suit or something like that, or grabbing a pizza or something.
Yeah, but let's not complain about it too much, because the other thing they do is like you're going through a forest right now. You're going through a couple of trees, like hiding the load screens like that, So let's not do that. Let's just get to the action. Dalan, you haven't told us.
Let's not do Star Wars.
Yeah, well, a lot of games do it. They even Uncharted and all these games that are amazing, right? But they're like, let's hide these load screens while you're going through some bushes right now.
Star Wars was the most egregious. You're just going from one section to the next in the same map area, and you have to go through a tight space, and he's climbing over stuff, and you can't do anything with him. It's just taking him a minute to get there. It's a loading screen.
I stand by my statement, Dalan. Uncharted did it, and a bunch of other games did it egregiously. Yeah. All right, Dalan, you didn't tell us though. What are you gonna do, man? I know I already said probably day one on that Spider-Man 2, and then GameFly Mario. But what are you gonna do, man? What's your strategy?
I'm gonna GameFly Spider-Man. It's already on my list, and I'm waiting for it now. It was funny. I had what was the name of that game? The Raven. I can't remember the name of it suddenly.
Forspoken?
No, it's the Gears one. The very recently came out. It came out like last month or something like that. Armored Core. Thank you. Armored Core 6. I don't know why I can remember.
It's hard.
I had it. I played it. I sent it back. The homie was like, Dalan, we need to play this together. I was like, all right, fine. So I got it back from GameFly. As soon as it landed on my desk, I looked at my list and I was like, Spider-Man 2 is coming out. This game is going back. Didn't even pop it back into my system.
That's very reasonable, man. That's very reasonable. All right, Dalan. So Dalan's GameFly. Dan, this next one is for you as well. Netflix is looking to license a GTA game, moving into higher-end gaming. They're talking about like having a quote-unquote Netflix game controller, which you use your phone as a controller. Ridiculous. All right, let me just put it to you that way. But Wall Street Journal is saying, quote, Netflix has discussed plans to release a game within the popular action-adventure series Grand Theft Auto model from Take-Two Interactive Software through a licensing deal. There's really no other details in this, though. Like, the first thing that came to mind was, like, they're gonna fucking put the GTA trilogy, man, through their little Netflix games thing or whatever. But it's interesting. I don't know. I honestly think by licensing, I would think it's an existing GTA game, so I don't think it's too much to get excited about. But what do you think, Dalan? You think we need to be hyped about this?
My brain suddenly said, "Get ready to see Saints Row on Netflix. Somebody's got to save them." But damn. As for GTA, or at least a GTA type game, I doubt it's going to be successful in any kind of way. It's just one of those things where, like, we heard that Netflix was doing gaming to begin with, and the first thing I said was, nobody's going to play that thing. Can you name anybody who plays Netflix games?
I tried it once, I tried it once. They do have the sequel to Scatter. I don't know if you guys ever played that little PlayStation 3 Scatter game where it's like a, Breakout or Arkanoid or whatever it is. They have Scatter 2 on here, but no one's heard of it. It's a beautiful little game. But you're right, Dalan.
These are problems.
These are problems. These are issues that they have. But anything else on that, Dalan? They're working on it. We'll see. We'll see.
Hey, they say that they might get AAA games on there, but people are still going to be like, this is another Stadia situation. Just take it away.
Take it away. The other thing that we hope not to take away, but I'm not convinced, the PlayStation Slim is confirmed. I do like that PlayStation and their marketing material is not calling it a Slim. They're saying the new PS5, right? I think it's one of those things where they even said that as soon as everything sells out, as far as the old or the original version of the console, this will take over. It's going to be reduced in volume by 30%. The same price for the disc version, $500. For the digital one, $450. So they raised the price on the digital one. They're going to give you an extra 175 gigabytes of extra storage, and it's going to be modular, so you can add the disk drive to it. It should be dropping in November. Other than that, if you guys didn't see, people are making fun of like the stand. It's a $30 stand that no longer comes with the console. You'll have to buy the little wire type looking thing. There's also going to be a Modern Warfare 3 console bundle November 10th. I think that's probably going to be the original one, so I don't think it's going to have the new PS5 or the slim one. I do like what Deo said though, and you know how I get into your brain, Deo, when I read these, okay? So I know exactly how you said it, all right? He said, I like it. And modular design seems to be the way to go for consoles. Should have been there since the PS3 days, but whatever. I'm all set. I hope that's how you said it in real IRL. Dale, what is the statement that you made, sir? What do you mean by this, please? Explain yourself.
On. No, I mean, I like how it looks. Like, if you don't have a PlayStation 5 currently, like, it's going to look a lot better than the current system, and it's a lot smaller, which is nice. However, it won't look good, like, lazily being on its side. You'd have to, like, it looks way better on a stand, which that's...
What that you don't like the little kickstand thing, the
little stiletto heel, whatever it's called,
little bike kicker.
That looks stupid, honestly. And I feel like it would break easy. Like if you set it down and like a kid like moves it or like tries to stand on top for some reason, I don't know why, but like
it stands on top of it.
Like, the kid get over everything, man. And then it's kind of messed up that they're gonna charge you like $30 for the stand. I think you could stand it like by itself without the stand, kind of like how most of us did our PlayStation 2s back in the day.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think it's kind of messed up. They're charging extra for that kind of
thing. And they kind of effectively like raised the price too, right? When you think about it, they raised like the digital one was $400 and they're like, but we're giving you more. Don't worry about it. I was like, yeah. Exactly. So to me, like, I know my child has been waiting on a second PS5 and I was like, oh, maybe this is it. But I'm like, this isn't it. It's the same price as it was before. Because, when they've gone to the slimmer version, I guess maybe we shouldn't expect it anymore, right? But they've either given you a pro version. Like, I know you bought the Xbox Series X, right? Forgot that the DLC was included for Cyberpunk on there. But they did the X maybe for the same price, or they give you something more. Whereas this is kind of like, we're giving you the same thing. It just looks cuter. It looks a little better, I suppose. But they charge you the same, right? Like, it's not like back in the day where, like, the PS1, remember the PSONE version, they're giving it to you for cheaper and it's a little nicer of a package, right? So it's kind of one of those things.
Like, I don't know, I would say that PlayStation is definitely charging a premium for a lot of their accessories and everything this generation. I like with the what is that thing called, the Portal, the PlayStation Portal and everything like that. Like, I would say it's a little bit more expensive than my liking is, but people are pretty ravenous for the PlayStation brand, so why not? So they'll pay for it. And PlayStation is going to make a profit about it somehow, and I'm sure that there's with the global supply chain pretty well off nowadays. With the slim version, they're probably making some profit somewhere.
Yeah, they're finally probably, I'm sure, gonna make a profit. Especially they're not gonna bring the price down of the console, right? So this is very like pro, like, you know, the Switch Pro or the SWOLED version of the Switch, where it's like, you're not giving me any better power, man. You're not really doing much for me, and you know it's not cheaper. So
and it's like it's optics too. It's just like it's kind of like how premium brands like Louis Vuitton and all those like luxury brands, they don't bring the price of their stuff down. Like they keep it like at a high end price to have that perception of like premium quality and all this type of stuff. Luxury.
Dalan, what do you think, man? Do you think the same here as far as the luxury? What do you think of the slim?
Dale gave me a little flashback there. It was a bad flashback too when PS3 was being announced, and so it was like, don't worry, they'll just get a second job.
That was terrible. That wasn't terrible.
But in regards to it, I'm still thinking to myself, I understand that it's supposed to be the new PS5, but why couldn't they just do this the first time? When we got our original PS5s, they were these big, bulky, towering computers that when people looked at them, they're like, that's the PS5? That thing is huge. How do you get that thing anywhere? They could have made the Slim the first time around, and they know it.
It's 30% slimmer, Dingling. It's the new PS5. I think that's how they get away with some of this, right? It's like they're not calling it the Slim. It's the new PS5. It's a new experience, all right? It's a new experience.
But then when I see this thinner PS5, I'm like, okay, so what is missing from this thing? Because you feel like there's a drawback seeing this thinner system. But honestly, if you're going to get the system at all, whether it's the old bulky one or the new Slim, you might as well just drop the $500, especially when there's only a $50 difference. And I understand that you have to buy the stand, which is a stupid thing because all the PS5s, aside from this one, come with a stand. But, you know, that's just me.
Hey, there it is. 30% reduction in volume, I guess. So it's smaller, slimmer. If you haven't picked one up, this is the one to pick up, right? If you haven't. I will say we'll go into quick takes real quick. At the Xbox and Activision Blizzard deal is finally final. We can finally stop talking about it, right? I know Phil Spencer he did come out and say, whether you play on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, or mobile, you're always welcome here. Even if Xbox isn't where you play your favorite franchise, because when everyone plays, we all win. So they're kind of making you get into your feels, making you feel pretty good about yourself. But I do like how Seamus Blackley, if you guys don't know, he's the father of the Xbox. He did come out and is like, "Ooh, he's Seamus. Okay, Seamus. He's been waiting on this. He said when we pitched Guitar Hero to Bobby Kotick, he told us nobody would ever stock it and turned it down only to buy it later. I reminded him that he literally said that to me about Xbox only a few years before. He laughed. Now he's being bought by Xbox. Karma is a bitch." I'm like, Seamus, what's going on here, man? He's been holding on to this statement for a while. I was like, okay, Seamus, you know. But it is very, I think he's like, he's kind of an engineer, I believe, from what I understand. So it's very like the mindset. He's not thinking business, right? Kotick is very like, all right, he probably doesn't even care, man. He might have even read this, and Kotick's like, okay, whatever. I still got my golden parachute, and I still made money off of Guitar Hero eventually. But it's kind of funny that people come out of the woodworks and they're like, oh, see, now who's owned by who? Well, Seamus, I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's karma is a problem.
I loved reading that. When Seamus said that, I loved that. I was like, good job, Seamus.
You still like it because you like to smoke. I like to smoke, you know. So it's like, okay. But anyways, that's put together. I'm sure they're gonna work some stuff out, and then stuff from Game Pass. We talked about it last year that Call of Duty. As far as Call of Duty, that thing's gonna be on Game Pass next year. I think this year is just a matter of like the marketing's there. It's on PlayStation. It's on everything. They did the open beta first on PlayStation, all that kind of stuff. Things are set in stone in a certain respect, right? But next year, all that stuff to Game Pass. What's up?
That one, I actually disagree with you outright. I think that Call of Duty is the one of those franchises where they're like, nah, we can't put this on Game Pass because it's going to make plenty of money. Why would we do that? I understand we want people to come to our system, but if it's cross-console and they're selling on one system, you got it free on your system, And we already had this whole debacle of people flying to Australia trying to stop people from doing stuff.
He retired, man. He got done with that. He's done with that, okay? He retired. He was done with that.
I would say... sorry, can I
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
This whole thing was a battle.
If they were going to make Call of Duty exclusive, they wouldn't do like complete exclusivity. I would say timed exclusive or like early access with like special items. If like
that's coming, man. That's coming. I think that's definitely coming, and I understand what you're saying, dude. It's coming to Game Pass, dude, because they're still gonna sell it on PlayStation. They're still gonna sell it on PC for full price, you know. So it's Game Pass is like, come on over to the dark side, and yeah, you can play on PlayStation. That's cool. And by the way, before I forget, it's very cool the fact that this whole cross-platform, because we were playing Call of Duty the other day, and there was Brian, my brother, was on PC, my nephew-in-law was on Xbox, and then two other us were on PlayStation. So I was like, this is kind of nice. Of course, I like the little veil that they put over the Xbox. It's just other player. It doesn't say Xbox on there, right? It just says other player. But so it's coming to Game Pass, Dalan. I understand what you're saying, but they're dropping it on there. They need those. They're trying to get those subscription numbers up.
My brain just said to myself, how much money have they been dropping on all these acquisitions to try and make money?
We got the number, Dalan. I mean, it's $69 billion, Dalan. We got an exact number, man. Or not, close to exact. 69. 21 months later, man. 21 months later, and it's finally finalized. I do like that Jeff Keighley kind of threw out the list of like, this is the tweet that he said. Oh, what happened, Dalan?
I was thinking, the $69 billion is obviously, that's just the Activision Blizzard one. But I'm talking about with all the acquisitions that Microsoft have been doing, they've been buying up a whole bunch of companies, dropping a couple of mil and a couple of bill on these. Mm-hmm. So how much money have they spent in the past couple of years to get to where they are now?
Man. A lot. They got to do it. They got to get you hooked on Game Pass. They dropped, I think, $7 billion for Bethesda. So what's up there,
That's
man?
what I'm talking about.
But Sony's making some moves. They need to start making faster moves and more moves, right? Because they bought Bungie for like $3 billion, I believe, just to tell Last of Us, Naughty Dog, the prestige studio of Naughty Dog, to like, get this fucking new Game Plus live game service out of here. I'm gonna put this on ice, all right? But anyways, we'll get into Keighley's list. I'll just read his tweet here. He said, with the completion of the deal to acquire Activision Blizzard and King, Xbox seemingly now owns all the following franchises: Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Guitar Hero, Hexen, King's Quest, Space Quest, Quest for Glory, Tenchu, Pitfall, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Sword, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo, Gabriel Knight, Overwatch, a bunch of other ones. I do like the one that he said, a prototype. That's going to be rough, man, even though that was an okay game. But he also did say True Crime. I forgot about True Crime. True Crime, which featured Snoop Dogg. I feel like in one of the games, if I'm remembering correctly, Mr. Snoop Dogg was in this. Dalan, anything stand out for you, man? On this, they got Skylanders in here as well, of course.
There were a couple that stood out, and I think we partially talked about it, or maybe we did it off mic. But Tenchu, Stealth Assassins. I would love for them to bring this back, because obviously people just remember that game. We all loved that game at some point. I thought Crash Bandicoot was just purely owned by something I can't remember, the Last of Us makers. What was the name again?
Naughty Dog? No.
Naughty Dog. I thought Naughty Dog just owned Crash Bandicoot.
No. But it's okay, Dale. It's okay.
That on my brain, I was just like, all right, fine. I could let that one go. Whatever. Yeah. But StarCraft and Tenchu Stealth Assassins, bring those back into the fray again. I'm happy with those.
All right, there you go, man. They got a lot to work with. They definitely got a lot to work with, just to put on Game Pass, Dalan. Just to put it on Game Pass. I do like
Pitfall.
Pitfall's a good one. I do like that Keighley put up a poll. He said, "Do you think Xbox's acquisition of Activision Blizzard King is a good thing for the gaming industry and gamers?" 117,000 people voted on this. The majority, 47%, said yes. And then a no at 34%, and then undecided at 19%. So people are definitely hyped, but of course, we're the ones just enjoying the games, right? Of course, of course I want this deal to go through. I want a free Call of Duty every year. I'll take.
For me, it's just I don't care. Just give me my games.
Give them to me.
This is about you guys. Fucking go at it.
Pete Hines, speaking of Bethesda, Pete Hines retires after 24 years at Bethesda. This was through Eurogamer's headline. They said, now that Starfield is finally out, Bethesda's Pete Hines is retiring, which is kind of interesting to think, right? This guy was just kind of like, all right, let me see this go through. And as soon as the ink dried, he was like, I'm up out of here. Let me retire from this. But yeah, Pete Hines retiring. The next thing that we have on here is that Ubisoft did come out saying that, this is a quote from the Ubisoft executive Chris Early, when he was asked of the future for physical media in games. He said, quote, there's a collector edition market. There's the aspect of gifting physical items and allowing access for people to be able to easily purchase a game in a store and gift them to their friends or family. Some people always want to own the physical disc. I just don't think it's going away. Do I think physical sales might get lower over time? Sure, but will it ever completely go away? I don't think so. Dalan, what do you make of this, sir?
We did actually touch base on this in one of our previous episodes, because another person actually had stated something like that too. And the fact is that physical sales can't go away, simply because there are people that just may not even have online access and can't download some of these games. Sometimes we have to,
which is like, where do these mans live? Is always when I hear that statement. Where do they live?
I'm not watching the entire poor demographic of America, Carlos.
Okay,
so reasonable. I don't know.
But they can afford a PlayStation.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But they can afford a PlayStation.
Hey, sometimes you can afford a Porsche, but you live in a shack. That's just what people have weird priorities. All right.
Yeah.
Carlos, you gave me this space, and you're the one that came up with that analogy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, sure, but I mean, it doesn't mean to apply to every single thing that comes up on the podcast, Dalan.
I'm saying that it is a fact of our world, is that people will prioritize the tangible things over the intangible a lot of the time. Some people will prioritize entertainment versus real life. Like, no, I'd rather go to the movies and pay my mortgage. Like, what? Why?
That's interesting. That's very interesting. But yeah, no, I mean, as far as Ubisoft, I think their statement is just interesting because they're the ones that kind of got like cloud rights in the UK or something like that for Microsoft games. That's the way that the deal actually finally came through. So Ubisoft has kind of like some, a stake in this, right? That they're like, of course, everything's going to the cloud, but we can't get rid of everything, right? Which is kind of Best Buy sting. I know they're talking about this from Wario64. Best Buy confirms it's ending sales on physical movies, TV shows in 2024, in-store and online. It will continue to sell video games. Quote, to state the obvious, the way we watch movies and TV shows is much different today than it was decades ago. Making this change gives us more space and opportunity to bring customers new and innovative tech for them to explore, discover, and enjoy. End quote. And I know there was people on Twitter that they were like, these things have been empty for a while, man. These racks have had nothing on them. They finally let go of the ghost or whatever you call it. It's like, we're not restocking around here. But they did say video games are still going to be there. I feel because, video games kind of...
For the time being, I don't know.
Yeah, so I think it's one of those things. It's kind of what Dalan was alluding to as well. It's like these games are fat. These games are fat. These are 60, 70 gigabyte downloads or whatever, right? So it's kind of, or more actually at this point, right? But I think games are a little more like, okay, I'm going to buy this thing. And it's also $60, $70, right? Versus a movie that's maybe $15, $20. Right. That means more and more people are willing to like, I'll rent it. I'll rent it for 10, 15 or whatever it is versus buying it outright. Dale, what do you make of this, sir? Are you going to miss the movies and TV shows physical at Best Buy?
Yes. For one thing, when I worked at Best Buy, like media, that took up like a third of our store, I remember. Because it was like DVDs, games, records, and all this, and everything that supported it. Like all the CD players, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm kind of sad because I've seen that part of the business dwindle to like nothing basically now. And I don't know, it breaks my heart. But that's what everyone wants. Like, I'm a physical collector of video games, even though like I know it's going to be available in digital. Like, there's no reason why I should be buying a physical copy of Forza Motorsport 2023
when there's Game Pass.
When there's Game Pass, when it's going to be like available for a long time.
Yeah.
But like the majority of people, like I want to say, and it's the statistics have shown that like majority of casuals and the hardcore fan base, like digital is their favorite, and it's increasing year by year, and there's nothing going to change that. So the stores like Best Buy, unfortunately, that's like one of the last like electronic store vendors like that's like in the game now, because like Amazon changed everything. They've got to be competitive, and if this is what's going to happen for them to be competitive,
they got to make rooms for those 2-in-1 washing and dryer machines, man. They got to make room for those.
Dude, it's essential to have appliances in each of their stores now. That wasn't a thing in my day. Like we never had appliances be as big as it is now. Like it was always home theater, media, and like cell phones, and now it's completely changed in there.
Yeah, so I mean, they got to figure it out, man. They are, like you were saying, they're one of the last like electronic companies. I mean, you used to have the Good Guys. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh my God,
Circuit City,
Fry's Electronics, all those guys are gone.
By the way, one of the Fry's that I drive past the Fry's, and they haven't taken that sign down. You know, it has the gears. The Fry's has like the little gears. It's just it took down the Fry's, but off the freeway you can still see the blank where the Fry's used to be. I was like, okay, but I did go to a Fry's once or twice, Dale, and I think it was not impressive, man. I mean, maybe back in his heyday, all right, back in his heyday.
Carlos, I don't think you went to I don't think you went to Fry's the same reason that a lot of other people went to Fry's.
I don't.
You probably went there for like a specific like system or something like that. But most people went to Fry's for components and being able to build things. You didn't go there to build things. You hate computers. Last you checked.
Look, okay, so you caught me. So you caught me. Every week I say fuck computers. You caught me.
Were the Fry's down in SoCal were they like themed? Because in NorCal they were definitely themed. Each one of them was.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Like one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So one ours had like a Mayan themed. Another one was like Tesla coil themed, and like one was like you're inside of a computer where they had like huge racks of like your inside RAM. And like it was crazy.
Like you're inside.
It was like theme park. It was like electronics theme park.
No wonder.
It's like, why did I just walk into Tron World? What's happening?
That's how it was. That's how it was.
Dalan, what do you make of this Best Buy decision here?
Quite honestly, it's a sad part of our world. I mean, this is the reason why Blockbuster Video essentially doesn't exist anymore. The fact is that people don't really go into stores to try and find DVDs and games anymore. Most people just purchase them online. We have Amazon. Why would we go to the store? You don't have to stock it anymore. You can still sell it through Best Buy. I mean, they probably still have physical copies of all those movies and games in their warehouses, and you can still go online and buy them. They'll ship them to you. But why put them on the shelves? People aren't going there to look for those types of things.
All right, well,
they're going there to find new headphones, new computers, and a washer and dryer, apparently.
A 2-in-1, Dalan. 2-in-1, all right? 2-in-1 dryer combo.
I'll be honest. I will be honest. When my washer broke down, first place I went was Best Buy.
There you go. You need a place to go. You need a place to go for that kind of stuff, because obviously you're not buying movies and TV shows there. No. Next thing we have on here is that
I feel like I got hit up by you.
If you feel that way, I will not correct the record. If you want to feel that way, I'm okay with that. The next thing we have on here is that Like a Dragon Gaiden at launch will not have English voices. This is a quote from the Yang Ye. I hope I'm saying that. Yang Ye, the voice of Kiryu. He said, quote, "Since Like a Dragon Gaiden is a few weeks away and many may not know about this, thought I should let you know the English dub will not be available on the 11/8 launch date and will release as a post-launch patch. No official date yet. Hope you'll look forward to it." I want to go to Luis, but I know Deo, you're the resident.
No, go to everyone else.
Go to everyone else. Okay, because to me, my thinking is like, I thought they've been doing English voices. I know in Yakuza 1, they did like Mark Hamill. They pulled out all the stops, and then 2, and then Forevermore. I thought that was all in Japanese, but
it's all in Japanese. With the exception of the first one and Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah, so I'm like, why is this a big deal? I thought they were all in Japanese, but I guess it's a big deal that the English one is finally coming. Luis, Dale couldn't hold back, but we'll go to Luis. Then
you asked the question.
That's true. That's true. That's fair.
Well, I've never played any of these games, Like a Dragon, Judgment, Yakuza, none of these, right? So I didn't even know that they weren't English dubbed or whatever, or at least the majority of them weren't. But after having played, what was it, Ghostwire Tokyo? in Japanese.
Ooh.
And then you guys talking about Assassin's Creed Mirage last week, where you're like, I kind of want to try out the native language, right, of the setting. I'm starting to become way more open to playing games in other languages, as long as, because there were some moments in Ghostwire where like there's a boss battle happening and they're like talking to each other, like, bro, I can't read and fight right now, like what I gotta pick one, right?
That's the eternal struggle right there.
As long as they do it correctly, or at least worth, I can read most of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, I'm open to playing a game in another language. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and this is the one that's coming to game. I know one just dropped. Ishin just dropped on Game Pass, but there's another one that's dropping day and date, right? Is it The Man Without a Name? Is that the one?
The Man Without a Name is dropping on Game Pass. Like a Dragon, which is Like a Dragon Gaiden.
Okay. That's the one that dropped today or yesterday. I guess there's one that just came out on Game Pass.
Ishin dropped yesterday.
Okay. Dalan, what do you think, sir?
Hey, I will admit, as long as they can do the lip syncing properly, that's my thing on that. Because I can't remember what game it was, but I remember the English syncing was better than their native language syncing. I was like, something is wrong here, and that was very upsetting. But if you're gonna build the game and record the game in its native language and have good voice actors, hopefully, then I'm all for it, even if they never even came out with an English version of it, i.e. The Tokyo Ghostwire game. I mean, again, I was playing Assassin's Creed in Arabic, and it just seemed way better. It's like the English acting, I can do the English acting, but yeah, it felt more authentic. It actually sounded better. It felt like they lip synced fine with the characters themselves, and it immersed you more into the world.
You tell me you didn't like Roshan's English voice in the deep throated voice in Assassin's Creed Mirage? Then you didn't like that? The female Assassin's Creed lady. I did do Arabic for a little while. I switched it back, man. I was like, I think it was kind of what Luis was saying. It's like I want to be able to hear while I'm attacking and not like read and fighting.
I think that actress who I've seen in a couple other movies, I can't name one of them to save my life though. But that actress is the only one who went as ham as she did in the English voice acting. Because it's just one of those like. She's the only one holding the voice acting together.
There you go.
Have you ever watched those movies where you have that one actor who you're like, everybody else is crap, but I don't know how they got Bruce Willis to do this, and he's the only one trying.
The only one saving this piece right here. Dale, what do you make of this, sir?
So I think it's odd. I do have a conspiracy theory, like why this is happening. But okay. I think it's odd that they set a precedent with Like a Dragon, Yakuza 7, to have like English voice acting and Japanese voice acting like on the same day. It's weird that they're delaying the English part, because like you guys said, like the authenticity is much better if you just listen to it in Japanese. Like it sucks to read a lot of the time. But like the cohesiveness of the story, especially in the Yakuza series, since these actors have been there since like the early 2000s, like it's the same actor, and if they change it, it's going to be very, very jarring for someone who's been playing these games for over 20 years now. Yeah. My conspiracy theory. Well, yeah. So man, it was Mark Hamill, Elijah Dushku.
Yeah, there's quite a few people in there, man. They put a lot of money into it.
Right. So this is the first time that they're gonna have. I thought that they were gonna have like another. So this is the first time they're gonna have an English voice for the main character of the Yakuza series, Kiryu. And so they went out and they did auditions, and this guy Young Ya definitely won. But they released a snippet or like a trailer with his voice over onto Kiryu, and it was not positive. Like people, like even myself, I was like, that's not it. That's not who Kiryu is.
That's not the voice.
If you're used to it for so many years with the Japanese voice actor, like you're used to it. It's gravelly. He's like kind of distinguished within the Yakuza series, but he has like a lot of experience. So there's kind of like this gravitas he has to match up to. Young-Ya definitely did not, because he's like 20 years old or whatever like that. The Japanese voice actor, he's like almost 60. So
that is kind of odd to make that decision, right?
Odd.
Like that,
It's very odd. So he tries. It seems like he's very earnest and very like he's trying very hard to match that, but it just doesn't come across that way. And that's just how it is with acting. Like I can't judge him.
So was the conspiracy that they're delaying to re-record some lines?
Oh, they're re-recording some lines,
which is good, right? It's being Sonicified. It's being the movie when the 3D graphics came out. They're like, ugh, that's not right, and they took the time and they fixed it, and the movie was decent.
Exactly.
So that's what it is. Okay, I'll buy into that.
I hope they're protecting the brand and they're protecting the character and the history and the lineage of the games by doing so. And I hope they get it right. And maybe if it takes a couple months, that's fine. You have a great Japanese voice acting parts to play from other actors in the game, so don't worry about it.
I'll buy into that. I like that. I like that they're kind of taking the time to fix it up, right? One thing over here is that Epic Games Store. They're actually, this is a tweet saying that Epic Games announced now on Epic, another new program where devs get 100% revenue from sales on Epic in the first 6 months instead of 88%. So this is kind of interesting. I think Epic Games is kind of in competition with Steam, I would assume, right, as far as a store and all that. So I feel like they had 88% before, and now at 100%, they're like, how else do we compete with Steam? They don't even make games anymore over there. But Luis, am I off base on that, or what do you think, man? Now that they go from 88% share to 100% for the first few months?
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as a storefront, sure, that's really their main. Well, it's not their main because they're competing with Steam. It's not their main competitor, I guess, if you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But this is probably also just their way of kind of attacking the whole, trying to get this in two different ways against Unity and also Steam. So kind of helping their devs develop a game using Unreal Engine, getting a large portion of the profits there, and then putting it on the store. And for the first 6 months, hopefully they get a decent amount of sales and helping them succeed in that way as well.
Yeah. So
I think it's just a way of more so for developers to consider moving over the Unreal route versus any other outlet.
It's strategic in that sense. Do you think it's also opportunistic in a sense that there's a lot of shit going on at Unity? Let's come on over. Come on to it's strategy, right? They're being strategic, right? It's a good business sense here. Dalan, what do you make of this, sir?
I think sometimes Epic looks at the gaming industry and says, you know what, we're more gamers at heart than we are salesmen, so let's just do something nice for people every so often. And this might have been one of those decisions. They were like, you know what, for 6 months, I think we can live. We got enough in our coffers right now. I mean, we have.
Wait a minute, Dalan. Wait a minute. We just talked about it last week. They're spending too much. All right, and they laid off 700, almost 1,000 people or whatever it was. So
maybe they expect themselves to go out of business, but they want to get as many games out on the market as they can. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, I like it, Dalan. I like the counter there. But Luis, you were gonna say something on that, or?
No, I was gonna say Dalen's about to say it, and you cut him
Oh,
off.
my bad.
He was about to get there.
Damn it! Did I step on your line, Dalan? My bad. Go ahead, sir.
Nope, too late.
Oh no! But yeah, it's all strategic. It's all they have good business sense over there. They fired a bunch of people, so now they got some money opened up for them. Next thing we have on here is Analogue 3D, which is basically the Nintendo 64 at 4K, is dropping in 2024. It plays cards from any region, which is the European region, Japanese, and everything. This is from the company Analogue. They tweeted out saying, introducing Analogue 3D, a reimagining of the N64 4K resolution. The future is here. 64 bits of pleasure coming in 2024. Sign up to be notified when Analogue 3D is available at analog.co/3D.
The future is here.
The future is definitely here. Now remember, this isn't emulator, by the way. This is, well, I guess in a sense, it's really you need the carts. You need the carts to put in the system, right? So,
PS5 sounds like the future, but
yeah, that sounds a little more like the future, right? So in 4K, if you really want to see those blocky, nasty graphics in full 4K resolution, then go ahead, man. But these guys are masters, though. These guys are masters. They have the pocket, right? I think it's the Analog Pocket or NT or whatever it's called. It's apparently a beautiful thing. You also need the carts for that too. So everyone that's hoping to emulate away, it's not gonna happen, but it's gonna look beautiful. Deo, what do you make of this, sir? Are you grabbing one of these?
Maybe depends on how much, and it depends if they could increase the frames. Because I'm not playing Turok at 12 frames per second when I could play it on my Nintendo Switch at least at 30. Because the
Please
thing
answer.
I at least, and because the thing I love the N64. It is like one of my childhood playthings that I loved spending a lot of my time with. But the problem is going back to it is really, really hard. Like compared to other modern games, like a lot of the games on there don't translate very well into like the current modern times. So it's cool. And you, like you said, you have to have the carts. So like if you want to play GoldenEye 64 or whatever like that, you gotta have GoldenEye 64, or was it like Mischief Makers and Chameleon Twist and Snowboard Kids and all those kinds of games. You gotta have the carts for those, which they're going up in price right now, which kind of sucks. Analog products themselves are already like really expensive. I think the NT, the SNES version that you said, started out at like $250, which was like that's like that's like a legit almost modern console.
You better be really into it. Look at you, Dalan.
You better be like a collector.
Dalan's gonna click over right now. I see you in the dock, Dalan. He's over here copying and pasting the link. But if you believe in it, Dalan, you did bring up Mischief Makers, which is what were they called? Rocket? Well, they were a different company that eventually turned into Sucker Punch. No, I think it was Sucker Punch. I think they might have even been called Sucker Punch at the time, right? So, and I never played that, man. I never played that, so I would like to at some point get around to that. Dalan, what do you make of this, man? Did you click on the link? Are you gonna pick one up?
I did click on the link, and man, it's so wacky. I'm not even sure.
It's a slick piece of tech, Dalan. I mean, if you want to play GoldenEye, the original.
No. When it
came to
Pokemon
Stadium,
hold on, pause. When it came to Nintendo 64, it was a very small number of games that was even worth playing, even then.
It's still true.
And it's
still true to this day.
I mean, they have it up on Switch already for whatever Game Pass, their Switch Pass thing that they got going on. There's still only like 3 games that we even touch.
Right, the ones that are worth it are already ported to PC, like Rogue Squadron, like Star Wars Racer, all those kinds of games.
And you're just like, all right, we're just gonna try and eat into people's nostalgia. We've been doing that for a couple of years now. Move to another system.
No,
I don't care.
I would buy one. I would still buy one.
He's gonna grab one. Hey, what did they say?
You buy this once and you move on. You don't have to pay $120, $60 a year to not play Pokemon Stadium.
Exactly.
Dalan, this is it, man. Just read their tweet. The future is here. All right.
Hey, it's not even a tweet. That's on their main page. As soon as you put that link in, that's the first thing it says.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
The future is here. 64 bits of pleasure. Why did they word it like that? Stop.
Oh, they knew what they were doing. That's how they got Dale.
I will read this part though. Wireless Bluetooth at 2.4G. 4 original style controller ports. I don't know what 100% that means. Completely engineered in FPGA.
It had 4 ports, Dalan?
If you have your old controllers, you could plug it into the system.
Oh, is that okay? Well, Analogous OS. I don't even know what Analogous is. Analogous? What the hell is Analogous?
Dalan, you need to step away from the computer, sir. Step away from the computer, all right, Dalan? You're a dangerous person right now.
Very bold words. No emulation. You know somebody's gonna hack that thing.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, that's in their marketing. No emulation. All right, look. Next thing. This one's just for me because I'm super hyped for this. But Alan Wake 2 DLC is gonna be free. Sam Lake says Alan Wake 2's free DLC will be significant. I'm expecting us to be going more into detail pretty soon after the game is out. But all of that will be free for everyone who gets the game. And it better be free, man, because they're gonna force me to buy this thing digitally. I don't think they're gonna do a physical version, is what they said. So please give me more free stuff. But I'm pretty hyped about that. So Alan Wake 2 should be coming out here soon. Dalan, this one's for you. The trophy support might be coming to PC. This is according to VGC. They're saying on their website. That's according to data from True Trophies, a site that scans trophy lists directly from the PlayStation Network. According to the site, it recently detected a new PS5 trophy list with an additional platform listed alongside it, PSPC. The list in question reportedly isn't attached to any particular game and appears to be a test. You're hyped, Dalan. You're a PC gamer, I believe, right? You'd be wanting to get trophies on your computer.
Well, I used to be more of a PC gamer, but I'm actually more hyped for other people. That includes Luis in this particular case, because there are a number of games that are PC exclusive as well. And, Some people like achievements.
Talk about Honkai Star
Rail. Not PC exclusive. I could currently play it on my PS5, but not the point. The point being is that they don't have their own version of a trophy list. I don't think Nintendo does either, but watch what happens when Nintendo ends up making their own trophy list thing.
I'm going to be dead, dude. I'm going to be dead. I'm going to be dead. I'm like, I need them all.
So now we got the PlayStation trophies, we got achievements for Xbox, and now they're moving over to PC. We got PlayStation coins or whatever. I guess Nintendo's gonna have a new thing. You got hats. You're gonna earn hats.
I'll take hats. Nintendo, get on. It's always funny to me that even Nintendo themselves will put like achievements in their games. Like they're like, oh, look at all these achievements. Like, you motherfuckers, you guys could just do like across the board, man. What are you guys doing?
Give me a trophy system.
What is this piecemeal crap right here, man? Just put it across the board. Like, I don't even care if you got voice. That's gonna be broken. They don't know how to do online. But just give me some trophies at least, man, or achievements.
They barely know how to do Bluetooth.
Now that I've calmed down for us.
Just to clarify for Dalan, I'm pretty sure this is for PlayStation Studios games on PC. You're not gonna get trophies on PlayStation for playing Starfield or whatever. Like, that's not.
Well, that's some bullshit.
The developer needs to sort of add support for it. So
there you go. I like it. I like that correction. Dalan needed that. He needed it. All right. You needed it. All right. The next thing on here, Cyberpunk 2077 related. This is Jason Schreier, our favorite journalist. Banned a couple people on the podcast. Cyberpunk 2077. Quote, Cyberpunk 2077 uses an AI algorithm to emulate a Polish language voice actor who died in 2021. With his family's permission, developer CD Projekt tells Bloomberg an interesting news nugget as debates intensify over the use of AI in creative work. I thought this was kind of interesting, right? Because some of the actors were kind of up in arms about like, oh, they're going to use our likeness in future times, right? And our AI, they're going to create it through AI. And this is one way where it's like, it's okay. You know, they did get permission from the family, right? But using AI, they were able to kind of recreate this man's voice. But, you know, I don't know. It's kind of like that Google thing, right? That Google edict that they said, don't be evil. And then eventually scrubbed it off the wall. So I feel like it might be a similar thing here where it's like, well, look at the beautiful things you can make, right? We're not going to do anything evil, but it's a slippery slope, I feel. But I guess this is one of the good things to come out of it. What do you make of this, Dalan?
This is why we had the whole strike situation to begin with, is just having the AI generated voices for anybody in this particular case, regardless if permission was made or not. There just wasn't a lot of protections over it. And it is a slippery slope to be able to actually have the dead actors still voice their characters. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. If they did it for Lance Reddick, I would not be making this argument. But for pretty much everybody else, it is just one of those things where it's like I know a couple of voice actors, and it would be one of those things where like, all right, come in, do a couple of voice lines, we'll pay you $5,000. Then they sell their game for multi-billion dollars, and they get a whole series going, and you know that person did not voice those lines, but they're throwing the AI in there anyway. And if those original voice actors don't check in on it because they're too busy trying to get other work, then they're going to be asked out on a lot of money.
Yeah, that's one of the fears, right? That's one of the, and also maybe there are good actors that are a part of this, right? Maybe like Cyberpunk and CD Projekt, they're kind of like, look, we're trying to do a good thing, but what if it gets unleashed out there, right? Like, and then other people are messing with it, and they're creating AI generated things, right? So
they're gonna go back to older previous families, like, all right, hey family, can we do AI voices for your Michael Jackson? Can we do this?
That, you know what? That's, you know, I know you don't follow sports that much. I think Luis and Deo does, but that's kind of one of the things with like Kobe Bryant's like wife, you know, that is kind of like she's doing questionable things with his legacy, and you know, you want to be able to like we could trust the family, we get permission. Like some of this families is a little questionable. They're doing things that are not on the up and up. so to speak.
Some people are just like, if we get paid, do it. And everybody else is like, that's cringe.
And there it is. Look, we did hear about this. We talked about it a couple podcasts ago, I think. But SEGA they canceled a really huge game apparently called Hyenas. And there's a couple of tweets out there that I thought was interesting. Because it's kind of one of those things that when developers work on these games, unless it got published, even when it gets published, they'll remove them from the list. And we just talked about it recently with Konami, right? They're even trying to scrub Hideo Kojima, the main creator, off of these games. But for Hyenas, I do have a quote from the Cartel Del Walker, a Naughty Dog senior character artist. He said, Hyenas being canceled by SEGA brings up the problem of game industry black holes, quote unquote black holes, after a game fails to launch. Those devs may have worked 6 years on that title and now cannot showcase what they did. That means they're not only lost jobs, but future prospects are jeopardized. And Andrea Saravia Perez got on it as well. She said, this is exactly what I mentioned to Steven Totillo in the interview. The secrecy of a game can help its launch, but it also jeopardizes the careers of anyone involved in its development. There needs to be at least a clause that allows developers to speak about an NDA project. I know you said no to this, Liz, but can I kind of poke you a little bit on this? Do you have any thoughts on kind of how the industry works and you work on things and your name doesn't get out there?
Yeah, I think maybe more than half of the stuff I worked on it doesn't have my name on it, but it does make it interesting getting work, because you kind of can't really put it on your portfolio necessarily. You kind of have to find creative ways of describing what you did without kind of saying what it was for or what client or whatever, to kind of give a potential employer an idea of what your skill set is and what you can do. So but yeah, I haven't worked on anything for near as long as like sort of these dates that they're talking about, like a AAA quad A project where it's like 2-3 years down the line, and it's like, okay, so all that stuff I did, it's just like I can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what they're saying. There should be some way where you can kind of get around this if it's for like a specific situation, particularly like a job interview.
Yeah. Or you would think in that situation, it's kind of like people understand, like, okay, we're talking about things that, but I guess in a way though, it could potentially, you kind of see it leak out though, right? Like, you hear from someone interviewed this person and they said this happened, so it's tricky. It's tricky. Dale, you got thoughts on that or?
Well, that was essentially what I was going to say, is that this must suck for the people on contract to be able to do portions of video games, because then when they go into a job interview, they say, well, what have you done this type of work? In your mind, you're like, yes, I've done this type of work, but you had that NDA, so you're just like, no. And it just looks bad on you.
But they said you could potentially maybe be creative, right? You don't have to say
Dalan's not creative enough.
You're not being creative enough, Dalan.
No, my point being is that it really sucks for those people that have to work so far around that, when that was the thing that they've done for the past, maybe it was something they did for like 3 years straight. And then the project ends, so they have to go find a new job. And then what if the new employer is like, all right, what have you been doing for the llast 2 years? What do you tell them then? You just say, I've been doing various projects. What kind of projects? Can't talk about it.
I can't talk about any of that. But it is wild, man. 6 years. 6 years. And this was supposed to be a huge game, by the way, too. Like, they put a lot of money into it. I'm pretty sure it's one of those things that when we talked about it a couple podcasts ago, right? It's one of those things that they probably looked at. It's like, we cannot put any more money into this, whatever this is, right? So, but yeah, 6 years. 6 years, and it's like, be creative on that resume, basically. Next thing, and we'll get to what you've been playing. Rocket League is going to be removing player-to-player trading December 5th at 4 p.m. PST. I don't think I've ever made use of this. Maybe once. I think maybe you or Luis, you guys might have given me a soccer goal animation or something like that. But other than that, I don't know. It's fine. What do you think, Dalan? What do you think, Dalan?
Carlos, you've definitely used this. You and Prue, you both used the heck out of this, because neither one of y'all were playing for a while. So you were like, I need new explosions. We were just throwing colors at you. You would give us wheels, whatever it might be. Okay. This was the way that people, including Brian, got a notification of, I will buy those tires off of you for $250. Like, what?
Why are they taking it off? Why are they taking it off, Dalan?
As to why they're taking it off, who the hell knows? I guess not enough people.
They did mention why. I didn't bother reading it.
Yeah, I didn't bother reading it either. But I assume one of two reasons. Either not enough people are using it because I have a huge backlog of way too much stuff in my library of things. Or two, it got toxic because there's a lot of toxic people around.
It's interesting. Those chats, the way they get around those chat censors are, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting around. And I like how the little, which I think you could do it in any game, right? Where it's like, good job. And then obviously like trolling you or whatever. It's like, oh, nice shot. Good save. It's like,
and you're just like, shut up. You can see wow a lot. Just wow. Go away. But I will say this for anybody who hasn't traded or needs new stuff. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of that. You want to trade thing that pops up in the chat.
Oh, that's right.
We used to see it all the time. Yeah. We're gonna see it a lot more now for the next couple of months because it's going away. Do it while you can.
Well, December 5th, that's about a month and a half away. Look, we're going to get into what you've been playing. Me and you, Dalan, have both been playing Assassin's Creed Mirage. I almost rage quit, Dalan. I was like, I'm fucking done with this game. I don't know how to kill people. I don't know what the buttons are. I'm trying to jump this way, but it jumps the other way. And I was like, whatever, man. See, I put it down on easy mode as well, Dalan. I put it down on easy mode, but it wasn't enough. I literally had to say, you know what? I'm about to rage quit and throw this game not in the trash. It's GameFly. GameFly sponsor us at some point, please. I was like, I'm gonna send this thing back. And I was like, you know what? Let me look at a guide and how to finish this mission. I saw the guide. I was like, what the fuck? I could get away with all this crap? Like, I was like, I did not know that I could just walk up to this man. I could just walk up to him and still murder him. Easy peasy. I leveled up some stuff. So I put here on my notes, I said, easy guys, keep the rage quit away. And it is the first game. So I went from almost rage quitting and sending it back to GameFly 2. It's the first Assassin's Creed game that I've game tape solved in years. All right. So, and also because it's like a 10-hour game. Perfect timing. I'm not gonna buy it. I guess maybe that's the problem of like why they want to make games long. I'm gonna send it back as soon as I platty it, because the platinum seems very doable. It just seems maybe a little time consuming. What are you erring about? What are you erring about here, Dalan? What's your experience,
you were like,
man?
You were like, I think I'm gonna platinum. I was like, oh, that's gonna be a lot of time on your hands, man. That's a lot of time.
I'm gonna do it.
Hey, man, feel free. I just appreciate that Assassin's Creed kind of went back to form in regards to their parkouring, because that was a huge part for me. Is the way that they took away a bunch of the stuff with the parkour. But this new battle system that they have, I gotta get used to it, because I will forget the buttons on how to fight every time I get into a fight. I was doing a simple thing. I'm trying to infiltrate like a guard station or something like that, and trying to find like a scribe, right? And I accidentally fell off one of the scaffoldings right in the center of everybody.
As you do.
All right, I was like, all right. And I was like, all right, let's fight. I was just getting beat up and died in like 30 seconds. I was like, I forgot all the buttons. I was bringing up my eagle, and I was making the screen look all shiny because I hit the wrong button. I was like, I don't remember how to fight.
Dalan,
how do you fight?
It's just oh, you're asking me. But look, it's just like any other modern action game. Everyone's copying Demon Souls, man. It's all the R1, L1s and the dodge. It's all it is. You got to deflect and then you stab. Deflect, stab. And there is a move, Dalan. By the way, pro tip: if you level up enough, there's these unblockable moves when they turn red. They attack you, but red. You flip over them. You could flip on the back sides of them. So make sure to work on that move. But you're finishing it though. Are you platinuming it or anything like that? What do you think?
I'm definitely going to continue to play it, but you definitely critical path this game.
Oh hell yeah, that's it and that's all. That's it and that's all. I'm going back and doing all the little wacky stuff now.
There's a lot of things to find.
I like it. I do like it. I don't think it's up there, and we got these big games coming out. I still got to play Starfield. I still got to play Cyberpunk, which I think Starfield and Cyberpunk DLC might be like competing. I feel for like at the end of the year when we do our game of the year stuff. It's okay. It might be an honorable mention, but yet I'm gonna spend more time in platinum. So I'm just a sucker for not easy platinums or easy trophies, but trophies that are fun enough. You get to explore the world a little bit more. Anything else on that, Dalan, before we go to Deo here and what he's been playing?
Nope.
Deo, what have you been playing, man? You got me kind of hyped about hearing about this first game you got on your list, Cocoon, because it is on Game Pass. Not only that, but I hear it's like a few hours long, so I'm kind of hyped about that.
It's a short trek. If you like puzzle games, this is probably one of the best puzzle games to come out.
Ooh, and it's short?
And it's short. It's only like 4 hours, depending on how good you are at puzzle solving. But it's like, I don't know, it's clever. It's super clever to the point where it doesn't take long to figure out how clever it is. And then once you get the mechanic for it, then it's like once you start thinking about it, you're like, oh, it's supposed to work like this, and the mechanics that go into this next level work like this, and it's kind of it's a very good. They did a very good way of designing the game to explain things to you without any dialogue. Like, if that makes sense. Like when you play the first Mario game, like Mario Brothers 1, like you have to go right, and you could only jump like a certain distance, and you can't go back left, and you have to do certain things. You could like hit a block to get a power up, that kind of thing. So they designed the game very well.
So it's got some like well-defined like rules to the world.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it because that's like part of the thing of figuring out the puzzle part of it. Yeah. So, but it's very pretty. It's actually a lot prettier than an indie game that I expected it to be. Like I like Planet of Lana, and I liked there's another indie game that came out. Solar Ash. I've been playing that a little bit too. But this game, it looks a lot better than those. It's just more polished. It just like everything looks cohesive. It also has that kind of gross. If you guys have played Inside and what's that other game?
Okay. Limbo.
Yeah. Like it has that kind of weird
I'm looking at the trailer. It says it's from the gameplay designers of both Limbo and Inside.
Okay, now I'm back on the hype train. You were losing me on indie quirky art style, quirky art style, and a puzzle game. You're losing me, but now that you said Inside and Limbo, now I see Inside and Limbo. I'm back on.
Much better. Like the other indie game that I was referring to was Somerville, which did. Like it had the lineage of some of the people from Limbo and everything like that, but I was really disappointed in that one because it wasn't that deep and it didn't really do anything too interesting. But this one is a definite I recommend this to people. Like even if like you're not too big on like puzzle genre, like it's a very interesting like puzzle adventure kind of type thing. Like you'll be thinking, but not thinking.
I got it in the backlog. There's a lot of stuff, and then like we talked about at the beginning of the show, there's big games coming up. So
and you like this? It's very easy to platinum. It's very easy to do that.
Well, achievements, right? But I'll go for it.
I mean, it's on PlayStation 2, so you
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, but it's on Game
Pass. You could, it's easy to do that. So I platinumed it after beating like the 4 hours. Like I 100% it within like maybe half an hour after that. It's easy.
Oh, okay. This is piquing my interest, man. But like I said, it's a couple games, or maybe it's the perfect game to like I don't know, beat Spider-Man and then go into this, right, or something like a quick one.
Yeah, it's a good palate cleanser, I would say. Yeah,
what else you been playing?
I've been playing also Sea of Stars, and I'm like literally within the first hour of it. I've been playing it on what do you call it?
Because this one's on Game Pass too, right?
Yeah, but I've been playing on my Steam Deck, and just because like I've been playing it while doing other things, and like it's good, but it's I don't know for a JRPG after playing Persona, I'm just like this is
nothing. After Persona 5, you spoiled yourself.
Nothing will ever match up.
Like there's so many like quality of life features that Persona does that I'm just like getting annoyed by it.
A new couch, Dalan. A new couch. Go ahead, there. My bad.
Couch, yeah. And then so like I'll play it and then I'll start falling asleep or I'll get distracted with something else like really easily. But I'm gonna get through it because it's on Game Pass and everyone loves it. And I knew that was gonna be pretty good.
Yeah. You're playing it on Game Pass on the Steam Deck. Game Pass through Steam Deck or. Yes. It works fine. Yeah. Game Pass works because you try to play Game Pass on a PC, man. You can't even launch the app. I feel like Least hasn't been able to launch the app for years.
I heard it.
I think you got it fixed though, didn't you?
Okay,
you got it fixed.
What else?
Yeah. What else? So I don't know. It's kind of weird. And then the big one that I've been playing a lot of is Forza Motorsport, which just came out, and I had the 5-day early access to it, so I've been playing it for a while. And I'll say this: the graphics aren't the greatest I've seen for a racing game. It's definitely not as detailed. It definitely has performance issues when I try to play it on my PC, and I just got upgraded my graphics card, so I mean, it shouldn't really have a big problem.
Cheated on Nvidia. Cheated on Nvidia,
sorry.
right?
It might be the AMD drivers. The AMD drivers suck. So,
That's what. Hey, you were warned. You were warned.
I was.
Update the drivers.
Right. So that's the thing. Like, Forza doesn't look the greatest. Gran Turismo definitely, wipes the floor with it.
Yeah.
But
what I've seen, I mean, maybe it's one of those, like, people are good at taking videos or pictures, but I've seen, like, the rain effects and all that stuff. It looks nice.
The photo mode.
Okay.
The photo mode definitely helps. But the problem is that a lot of the car models, which is like what you're going to be looking at or staring at like 90% of the time while playing a driving game, are outdated. So they're not as detailed. The material, like lighting for some of them, is kind of off. And I think they sacrificed the quote of saying like, oh yeah, there's ray tracing in the game in real time gameplay, to get it running. But the way they've optimized it, or the way that they've implemented it, the execution isn't as good. So things just kind of look off. Like if there's like a studio in the game where you could go and buy cars, and they have all this fancy lighting and everything like that, but some of it's like really blown out, or the shadows don't look quite right. Whereas if you go to Gran Turismo, it looks like photoreal. Like it's completely like how that's supposed to look like.
Now there was a thing I saw you like tweeting about it, but see, I don't know about cars, man. I don't know what's going on there. All I know about cars is that they go fast. All right, that's all I know. But you were talking about like the back of one of the pipes or something. It's not hollowed out or something. What's that?
No.
What's
It's
that?
not even
What's
hollow.
this?
It's like it's on the Nissan Silvia, the S13 from Japan. Like the one, it's the same car model that they've had since Forza Motorsport 2. So so one of the tailpipes, it's the cylinder, right? But there's like a block in there because that's part of like the exhaust manifold.
Yeah.
And so they didn't detail any of that stuff out. So it's just like you're looking at this shallow like exhaust pipe that's only like 6 inches deep, where it should be like at least 12. So it's funny to look at those kind of details. It's kind of off.
And
it
now,
takes you out of that experience of it being like a
immersive.
Immersive game. So
now when they do the Gran Turismo games, sorry to kind of cut you off there, the Gran Turismo games, every game they're taking new photos, new updating all the
every time.
Okay.
That's what that's the thing that pisses me off about that game. It takes so long for them to update like a track or update like a car, that they only, like, when they release updates for Gran Turismo 7, it takes like 3 to 6 months at a time, and they'll only give you like 3 cars. But they're so immaculately detailed and polished that like I'm like, I can't complain, because
this is amazing, man. This is amazing.
But at the same time, the content that they give you is very stingy, and the playtime that you have with it is very stingy too, because they don't reward payouts, and they kind of like, how do you say it? They force you or like encourage you to buy credits, like in-game credits, with real world money. So it's kind of a pain in the ass, and it's not fun to grind. Whereas Forza, so those are the things I don't like about Forza Motorsport. The thing I love about Forza Motorsport is it's fun as hell to play, especially online. So,
there you go. There you go.
Like, it doesn't look as good, but it's fun.
It doesn't matter. Like if you're a sim racer, like in general, like it doesn't matter. You play a sim for the physics, and you play for the online multiplayer. It doesn't matter if you're running it on a potato computer. Like as long as it's still fun to race against people. Like that's the whole part, the competition, right? Gran Turismo does a good job of doing that, and they have like a ranking system and an etiquette system built in, which Forza Motorsport totally copied off of, by the way, which is great. The nice thing about it too is that they have servers running all the time, and it's so much easier to jump into a match or into a race in Forza than you would be in like iRacing or Assetto Corsa, something like that. So it makes it like the game flow really easy, and there's a couple of quality of life features which I like, and people are getting pissed off about the leveling up system per car, which I get, but I'm like, that's how it is in real life, so I don't know why like you'd be pissed off about something like that. It just takes more time. It might be annoying, but it's not a game breaking feature to me.
I like these deep dives with Deo. All right, because I know you're a car for a man that's on Twitter talking about, look at this man's daily driver. I see you saying, I was like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
But I understand because I follow Deo. I understand.
What I hate is that the console wars come into play, because the Gran Turismo and Forza Motorsport are direct competitors to each other. The comparisons are fair. The weird thing is that they only focus on graphics, which I'm just like, that's the stupidest thing to compare for a sim racing type of game.
Yeah.
Because like in the end of the day, no one cares. Physics are the most important thing.
But I mean, you appreciate the graphics, saying like Gran Turismo, right? Like you were just talking about the pipe and all this other stuff, right? So you appreciate
I don't know.
These people comparing these games, they don't play them. They just look at them. They don't play them. And walk away.
Dylan is not on the internet, and he gets that.
Exactly. He uses the internet, but is not on the internet.
He's not on the internet.
So you got that right.
There are freaking accounts that are like devoted to this whole thing every single day, and it pisses me off because I was like, you're not helping the genre. Like, you're just pissing off more people that want to jump into the genre. You know how easy it is for someone who's never played a sim game to subscribe to Game Pass, download this game straight to the Xbox or their PC, and go ahead and start playing a sim game? Because the sim racing genre, or the racing genre in general, has been dying. And the more people I could get into it and get more excited into it, I love it, because that means people are going to keep making racing games for the love of the genre. So.
Deo is out here like, Forza, sponsor me.
Sponsor me, please. No, everyone play it.
Please, I don't care.
Anything else, Deo? Anything else you've been playing? You got another thing here on the list, but I don't know.
One of these days, we're going to buy you one of the faux pas racing jackets. Just have all those patches on it, Castle Oil and stuff
with
like
a Porsche logo. I
love it. What else you got here, Deo? Or...
Yeah, and then so since I bought a new graphics card, unfortunately I went over to Team Red as opposed to Team Green because I'm trying it out. I got I was playing Starfield on my PC, and man, it looks buttery smooth compared to my old 1080 Ti. The graphics card I have now is definitely leagues ahead of that one. So I just wanted to try it out. I haven't really delved too deep into
Which one did you get? What graphics card did you get?
I got a Radeon 7800 X.
Oh. Yeah, no wonder you went to the dark side.
He went to the dark side. He's in the dark side now.
All right. I'm trying it out. If I don't like it, if these drivers keep pissing me off like how they have been doing right now, I'm going to switch back over to NVIDIA. I'm probably going to get a 1070 Ti or something like that.
What do you do?
You probably don't have a motherboard or a build really that uses Radeon too well. That probably is interacting poorly.
So now, Dale, what do you do with these components, man? Do you sell them at a loss? What do you trade them in? You're able to return them? What's going on?
I think it's up there.
Okay. You just return
Sometimes
them.
I'll have them up there.
Okay.
Oh, you mean that like the Radeon?
You'll just return it, say you don't like it, you want to
just return it.
Okay.
Or sell it. Well,
there you go. Luis, you been playing anything, man? What you been up to this past week or so?
Nothing of note to add any extended detail
on. He's been playing the normal stuff.
He's been playing the normal stuff. GTA, I'm assuming, maybe a little Call of Duty. I will mention real quick, Modern Warfare 3 beta was up. I waited for the open beta because I'm probably gonna gamefly the game. There's just too much. There's too many games. There's too many games, man. There's too much. So I'm just gonna have to wait on it. I'll get it a couple days late. But I did get into the beta. I did not know this, but there was a crash test dummy. That thing looked kind of beautiful. It's a red crash test dummy. But really, honestly, I play Call of Duty. I like playing with you guys, with the buddies or whatever. But as soon as I found out there was a crash test dummy, and our buddy Prue, I don't know if I put it on wax before, but he really wanted a Fall Guys character. He wanted the crash test dummy, and he looked into it and he said, "It's like, in order to get the crash test dummy, you need to have joined the beta." Fuck! That was this man's response, and I was like,
I like how your audio cut out right when you cussed.
And you know what? And you know what? I was like, he's not gonna get this, but apparently his PlayStation's broken. His PlayStation's broken. He wasn't playing the Modern Warfare 3 beta, and I was like, you know what? I got 3 hours to stay up, so I stayed up till like 3:30 a.m. to rank to level 30 to get the red crash test dummy, just to tell my buddy Prue, where is your crash test dummy?
Luis was about to comment on that. I want to hear what you had to say about that. He's like, no.
But anyways, we got the crash test dummy. The game plays pretty damn well, though, I guess, besides me just trying to kind of get the crash test dummy. But
you mastered that crash test dummy. You mastered crash test dummy.
I did. You're going to see it, Dalan, if you ever join us in Modern Warfare.
I saw the picture you put in the chat. It's a ridiculous. It looks like one of those robots from iRobot, but half painted red.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look as far as impressions for Modern Warfare 3. I'm not that good at it, man. I'm just like, I like the shooters. It feels good to me. The shooting's good. The movement's good. It feels very nice and quick, like it pretty much always has been. I know, we'd have to get an expert on here, like maybe a Brian. Like my brother is super addicted to it. He's nuked the map. Right. We've been there when he nuked the map.
Wick.
So Brian John Wick, as his nickname is, Brian John Wick. But it feels good to me. I'm excited for it, mainly the campaign, and I'll probably jump on if you guys are on there. Dalan, let's get through these quick. You put in like 20 different little things on here, but we'll see. So we'll end it on Dalan. What you been playing, Dalan? What's going on here?
I actually decided to take my butt back to I'm going to start with the last one I have on here, Rock Band 4. They're still updating this game. There's a new season of Rock Band 4 that's out right now.
In the year of our Lord 2023.
Yes, sir. This game is still being updated.
Okay, nice.
I did not know this. They added a whole bunch of new music to it. At some point, I was going through it. I was like, why is Nicki Minaj on here? I mean, okay. But yeah.
Classic.
Nicki Minaj.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like... This is crazy that this game is still ongoing. The original publishers don't have anything to really do with this game anymore, and they're just still chucking out stuff for it. So I still think it's crazy. And the game is still fun. It's still smooth. I hate having to calibrate my controller, my guitar controller, and I'm like, all right, let me get a new controller. Let me look online real quick. $500 for one of these controllers.
Do you have the drum set, Dalan? Do you have the drum set?
I do not have the drum set. Okay. Those are currently $800.
I think I have a drum set. I don't know which Rock Band though. Maybe for 3 or something.
I think you had it for 3 on your Xbox. Yeah. That's what you had. But anyways, I was playing Rock Band. If you still have Rock Band, go enjoy yourself. It's still fun, no matter what you say.
What else, Dalan?
The homie got me to play BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. It's currently free on the Xbox Game Pass. If you want to get down, I'm down. Carlos, it has easy buttons. Regardless of what you do, it has easy buttons.
Come on, Dalan. Look, my favorite fighting game, as it is yours, is not Capcom versus SNK EO Edition, all right? Easy operation. I want to be able to challenge, man. I want to be able to play.
I think you can do that. I mean, technically.
That's...
Not in this one. This is just the way the buttons are set. You can't really reset the moves. BlazBlue. Cross Tag. No, I specified Cross Tag because it had characters from Persona 3 and Persona 4 in it.
Get your fix, Dale. Get your fix. Get your Persona fix.
Get your Persona fix in that.
All right, Game Pass.
All right, so aside from that, yeah, it's on Game Pass. I'm down to fight somebody if you want. Now, I know I put on here the game about luchadors. I'm pretty sure Carlos guessed it right off the bat. We started playing Guacamelee for sure. It's a very fun Metroidvania game. I did not know it was as Metroidvania as it is. Good. You got side quests, you got towns you go to, you get the wackiness of like turning a goat into an old man and back. Some of these stories are way too much. And they obviously they linked into the Hispanic culture, and you see it. You see it everywhere.
It's Mexican, particularly Mexican culture, and they do that through a lot of the games. Not the original game, which was Aliens from Space or something like that. That was a cool that was a cute game, a cute Vita game. But they also do it in Severed. I think it was called Severed. Was it called Severed? That's also very like leaning into the Mexican culture. But sorry about that, Dalan. I digress.
No, Continue. It's okay. You're 100% right. The fact is, I didn't want to be too racial with my statement.
It's not racial.
PC.
It's just,
I understand that.
It's not racial.
Mexican guacamole. I mean guacamole.
Dalan. Okay, step away from the computer, Dalan. At that point. All right. So which one? There's a sequel. There's not just one, right?
There is a Guacamelee 2, but I want to beat Guacamelee 1 because it's co-op. It's local couch co-op. Yeah. And I'm out here playing with my wife, and the homie Ricky's here. I want to throw other people into it because at some point we were doing like a little challenge arena. They just throw enemies at you, and the further you go down in these tiers, the more enemies they throw at you.
I think even 2 might be 4-player, more than 2-player co-op.
No, 1 is 4-player co-op.
Okay, What's the console? What system are you playing?
I'm playing it on the PS5, but it's the PS4 version. Okay. The game is excellent fun if you want to play a Metroidvania that you hadn't had a chance to play it yet. So it's definitely up there at the top of the tier if anybody wants to play that one.
I concur, Dalan. I think I beat the first one. I beat the first one. I think the second one I played a couple hours, but I should get back to 2 at some point.
Hey, this is an excellent game. Then lastly, I've actually, even though we started together, Carlos, I have been playing Gotham Knights.
You cheating on
I have no. Here's the thing. I have not done the main story. Okay. The side stories, they did an excellent job with the side stories in this game. Yeah. And I enjoyed unlocking Mr. Freeze and all these other characters that you don't actually get through the main story. So, Carlos, even though I know you don't like doing side quests, I implore you, we should definitely do some side quests.
I say a critical path, and then we'll go back. Then we'll go back and do all the wacky stuff,
All right, we can do it. We can do it.
We'll go find
very detective-y still.
Look, we'll go find Mr. Freeze off the podcast. Carlos Macias, the master of what, Dalan?
Crash test dummies.
Crash test. Oh, see? Ooh, wrap it around. See what you did there. Dalan Kirkwood from up in the mountains. I have more reasons to visit you up in the mountaintop now that you got Rock Band going. It's like a party at your house, man. I'm
it
ready
is. You're welcome to show up. We got Ricky here and Calvin here constantly. You're welcome.
Just dox everybody, Dan. Who else lives in your house? Just tell us about everybody.
Well, nobody knows where I live unless you tell them, Carlos.
Oh, I'm gonna put it in the link.
Dale,
Dale Bloss, the king of Mid-Bay. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Better luck next week with the Niners, man. There's a strong team. Oh, McCaffrey went down. Sorry to bring that up.
Let me move my glasses.
Don't drink that. Don't drink that.
But no, he's gonna be fine, man. It's a good team you got up in the Bay. Thank you, sir. And Luis Mendez.
Play Motorsport, please. Play Forza Motorsport.
There you go.
Dang, you got as close to the mic as you could to say
that. Do it, man. Do it. So you can get a quicker match. Luis Mendez on the Wheels of Steel. Thank you, sir, for hanging around, putting up with us, putting up with me and Dalan. Dale, he's a fun guy. Me, Dalan, it's questionable. More Dalan than I, but
I don't know if I hate you right now.
It's up to you, man. All right, latest.